Hi everybody, my name is Ashley and this is 3 Boys 2 Girls, and today we are going to share what we have been reading in our homeschool for the month of October. So today I have a couple helpers along. This is Hadley, she is my kindergartner, and this is Maddox, and she's 6. Yep, and this is Maddox, she is my 3rd grader. And so let's get started. Let's start with my kindergartner. And so she is just starting reading, and so she is reading the Bob books right now. And with her curriculum, you know, she's, like I said, in kindergarten, so they don't read much, but these Bob books actually are perfect for her. For instance, look at this one, just says Matt, and then
How do you write that one?
Matt, Sat, Sam. Sam Sat, yep. So it's just really easy to go through for her 3-letter words that she can sound out, and it's really cool. It's really exciting for her to be able to read, and so she really enjoys it, which is great. Let's develop a love of reading early, because that's awesome. Let's move on to my 3rd grader. So she is going to continue with her Heidi Heckelbeck. And so she finished up number 2, which is Heidi Heckelbeck Casts a Spell. Number 3, which is the cookie contest. And then number 4.
I'm finishing up.
You're finished. You're going to start number 4.
Yeah.
Which is Heidi Heckelbeck in Disguise. And so she's going to read this weekend. We are traveling out to the Black Hills. And so she'll finish that this weekend. Let's move on to my 5th grader. My 5th grader finished up The Horse and His Boy, which is technically the third novel of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or the Chronicles of Narnia. He read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe last month and loved it. It was by far, he said, his favorite book so far that he's ever read. And so he moved on to number 3, The Horse and His Boy. We did not have number 4, and which I think is a Prince Caspian, yeah. And then we have The Magician's Nephew. We have number 1, but he just was not really interested in reading that one. So I said, okay, well, let's move on. And so I encouraged him to do My Side of the Mountain. And he wasn't really keen on reading it at first. I mean, totally judged the book by its cover. I don't really want to read this. It's small. Doesn't really look like a boy book. And so I really just encouraged him because I knew it was a classic, and it's got, I mean, it's a honor medal. Anytime that they're like the honor books or whatever, they have medals, I usually recommend them anyway. But so he started reading this, and turns out he absolutely loved it. It is about a boy who, not a boy, he is like, let's see, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's living in his family's crowded New York City apartment and decides that he just doesn't want to live there anymore. The city is too much for him and wants to go up and to live out in the mountains. And so he just packs up his stuff, takes a cab out to the middle of nowhere and just says, drop me off here, and then has to rely on kind of his own ingenuity. And he like lives in a tree and like has these little pockets where he puts his fishing stuff. It's just really cool for a little boy to imagine out on his own in the wilderness. So he had a really good time reading this one. So this one is second to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, he said. So it's not his favorite, but it's a close second. So then, keeping along with the kind of survival theme, I had picked this one up at a thrift store, and so he said, well, I'm gonna read I Am the White Ice Worm, because I kind of told him it was along the same lines. And this one is about a 14-year-old girl named Allison Atwood. She is flying to Alaska to visit her mother, but her plane crashes like in the Arctic Circle or something like that. And then she is found by an Inuit trapper and then brought back to his village. And it's just kind of the story of, this little white girl that's lost in this Inuit village, and how the lives are different and her friendships and that kind of stuff. So he actually read this one in 2 days. I mean, it's not a very long book, so he really enjoyed this one too. So the next one that I'm going to search for in my thrift shop travels is going to be Hatchet. We actually do not own that book, and I think that he would really like that one too. So next up, after he finished that one, he needed to move on to another one. So we chose Holes. We've seen this movie, we like it, and so I thought, let's just have you read the book. And I mean, no surprise, he's enjoying this one too. So my 5th grader who used to say he hates reading is now really enjoying reading and reading. I mean, he's gonna finish this one in 5 days. It's a pretty significant book, so you know, in a week, I think that that's pretty good. So we're leaving tomorrow to go out to the Black Hills, and so he'll also finish this one. This is his reading assignment for the hills. So both my 3rd grader and 5th grader are gonna do lots of reading this weekend. So
I am too.
yeah. All right, moving on to our read alouds. So I mentioned last month that we have not been very good at getting our read alouds in, which is a goal that I wanted to do for this week or this month. But if you saw my update video, you know that we had kind of sickness go through our house, and then we were trying to catch up, and then we were gone, and my husband was gone, and it was just, we had a couple weeks there in the middle of October that were just a little bit rough. So we did not have a very good rhythm for school this month, and so we did not get a lot of our read alouds done, but we did finish Seraphina in the Black Cloak. We enjoyed this one. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite read aloud.
Scary.
It's kind of scary, yeah. I wouldn't say it's my favorite read aloud that we've ever done, but it kind of held the attention of the kids, and every chapter ended with a cliffhanger, which I know seems small, but it made them excited to find out what happened the next day. So it was okay. It was okay. So we did last month, if you watched, I accidentally checked out book number 3. So I did go to the library and I found book number 2. We did start this a couple days, and then I was recommended this book, Orphan Island, and it's a new book, and I picked it up from the library. And so we are reading this one actually because I think I have to get it back because I think there's a wait list for it, so I can't renew it. So we are gonna try to bust through this one, but this so far has been really cool. I really like it. It is about this island where mysteriously a boat shows up, and these 9 kids live there, and a young child gets on the boat, and gets off the boat, and once that young child steps onto the island, the oldest child on that island needs to get on the boat and then leaves. Nobody knows where the boat comes from, nobody knows where it goes, but all they know is that every year a boat drops off a young child, and then the oldest one has to get on the boat and leave. And so it's kind of just their adventures of... It's kind of sad. It's kind of their adventures of just surviving on this island as 9 kids. And so I was recommended this by another teacher who said it was just an amazing story of friendship and just working through your problems and that kind of stuff. So we are going to read this. We're going to try to bust this out also on vacation so that we can get it back to the library so I don't have to pay any overdue fees. So if you need a new read aloud, I would definitely recommend this one, even though we're only halfway through it, but check this one out. So it's pretty good so far. Lastly, I am just going to share what I have been reading, which is actually pretty boring. So I finished Into the Water by Paula Hawkins, and if you know Paula Hawkins, she is a English writer, and so this is set in England, and it's basically just about this river, this town that's in this river, and a lot of women there's a bend in the river that makes it kind of deeper, and it's like a pool almost, it doesn't have the current of the river. And so what this is about is basically women jump off a high cliff that is right next to this pool and drowned, basically. And so they call it the drowning pool. And it's just the story of this girl then who was doing a story writing about the drowning pool, ends up going into the drowning pool herself, and how did she get there? Did somebody push her? Did she jump? And so it just follows the girl's daughter and sister girl's daughter and sister through trying to figure out what happened to her. So it was pretty good, suspenseful. Paul Hawkins is good, so I liked it. And then I've started The Blinds, and this is by Adam Sternberg, and this is part of the Book of the Month Club. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before, but every month they have 5 like brand new authors or brand new books and new releases that it's like a membership thing, you know, you get one for free every month, no shipping. So, and then you can add more for $9.99, and they all come in this nice hardback. And so for $9.99 for $10 for a hardback book, a good hardback book, that's pretty good. So I do it every month or whatever. So I usually pick one, and sometimes I add a couple more to my cart, to the dismay of my husband, more books. But so I'm just working through this one. I'm not very far. Oh, my bookmark actually fell out. So I am not very far into this one. We have had, like I said, kind of a rough month. So hopefully I'm gonna get this done in November and maybe one other one. So anyway, that is it, you guys. I'd love to know what you guys are reading in your homeschool or just at home. If you have any read aloud suggestions, we would love to hear those, or just any suggestions for my kindergartner or 3rd grader, 5th grader, or even for me. So we love books, and we would love to hear your suggestions. So, oh, one more. Say hi, Archer.
Hi.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.